Greetings, my name is Brian Guthrie, aka Guthron. Today, we'll be discussing one John Franklin Norris, hereafter simply J. Frank Norris, a Baptist preacher and controversial Christian fundamentalist. A note from the historian. I find this man to be very objectionable. I am simply studying him to complete this assignment. Not everyone will agree with my conclusions. Growing up with an abusive alcoholic father, Norris converted to Christianity at a Baptist revival in the 1890s and soon became a minister in 1897 in Hill County, Texas. After seminary, he moved to Dallas in 1905, where he led the congregation at McKinney Avenue Baptist Church until 1909, when he left for the editor position of the Baptist Standard newspaper. In 1912, he took the pastorate at First Baptist Church, Fort Worth, a position he remained in until his death. He is credited with ending the Baptist newspaper war. Additionally, in the early 20s, he established the first ever regular radio ministry. Later in his life, he served as the pastor of Temple Baptist Church in Detroit, Michigan, a post he held concurrent with his church in Fort Worth as he split his attention between two disparate yet growing flocks. He remained in ministry throughout his life. He died from a heart attack in 1952 while he was on a youth ministry trip. Controversy followed J. Frank Norris wherever he went. During his tenure in Fort Worth, First Baptist Church burned down twice, with him facing charges of arson after the first attempt, as he had been in conflict with the local government about updates and expansions to the structure. Later, he persuaded Texas's government to ban racetrack gambling. Not a popular move. He achieved further notoriety in the 1920s alongside his radio program when he became the controversial leader of the Texas Fundamentalist movement after attacking Baylor University for their teaching of evolution. His infamy grew as he took on Fort Worth's mayor over Roman Catholic influence on public spending policies. During this controversy, he shot and killed the unarmed Dexter Chips, friend of the mayor, who had come to talk with Norris about cooling his anti-mayoral rhetoric. Through legal chicanery, Norris got his trial moved to Austin, where he was acquitted after claiming self-defense from the unarmed Chips. J. Frank Norris seemed to relish the controversy, taking issue with anyone and everyone he could set his sights on. While he was a registered Democrat, a political necessity in Texas, he constantly found ways to support Republican candidates. He picked fights regularly with his religious peers in sister churches and organizations. Once, he even lost a libel lawsuit filed against him for attacks he had made using his own denominational newspaper. He ruled his congregations with an iron thumb, failing to see the dichotomy of his hateful disposition and the love of Christ he claimed to share with everyone. J. Frank Norris can be called the forefather of an adversarial fundamentalist movement founded to save the soul of the nation, lost in the decadence and depravity of the 20th century. That movement has since splintered into many groups, such as the Moral Majority of Jerry Falwell or the Christian Coalition of Pat Robertson. He can also be called a prolific minister who took on the 20th century's biggest battles for the Christian faith. Whatever one might call him, he was one thing for sure: a tormented man. J. Frank Norris left behind a legacy not of the love of Christ, but one of dictatorial Christian leadership, of controversy, infighting, of fraud, murder. He left behind a world that hasn't ended despite his wrathful protestations to the opposite. A world of sinners still searching for that love he purported to have found. Too bad he didn't seem to have found grace along the way.